Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good anything. So whenever you're watching, yeah. Let me start with this. Imagine you find yourself in a country where they speak a particular language and you don't understand the language. The same thing. Imagine you want to be wealthy and you don't know the language of wealth. So a lot of people want to be wealthy, but they don't know the language of wealth. And that's the reason why we are here to educate ourselves. So on that note, I'm going to welcome you to this stock market class or training sessions. So, and I just want to do an introduction to what this training is all about, or the motive for the training, the reason why we are having this training. Yes, so I'm going to start with the quote from Bryant, that's Bryant John Hope. He says poverty is about low self-esteem and lack of role models and opportunity. So poverty is about low self-esteem and lack of role models and opportunities. Without money, people resort to de-dignifying activities in order to support themselves. We free people through education and entrepreneurship. Freedom is self-determination, and you can't self-determine without understanding money and capitalism. So I'm going to hold some points there which says that we free people through education and entrepreneurship. We free people through education and entrepreneurship. So education is very, very important, as entrepreneurship is important. Then it says that freedom is self-determination, and you can't self-determine without understanding money and capitalism. So it takes me back to the idea of a country that speaks a particular language that you don't understand. So in a little way, I will quickly give us this. I'm going to take us through the little understanding. So what we want to do is that we are in a linguistic class and want to understand the language of money, at least in a little way. We want to understand the language of money. So let me ask you this question. If I gave you 100,000 naira today, and I told you to keep it for a year, so will it still buy the same thing next year, or the same things next year? So if I give you 100,000 naira today, and I say keep this money for me for the next 1 year, so will it still buy the same thing, things it can buy today? Will it still buy it next year? So, and that's very, very important. So, and the understanding of money, as I said, is no longer optional, but it is what? Survivor. It is survivor. It is survivor. So the understanding of money is no longer optional. Money itself is no longer optional. Money is what? Is survivor. So money determines your connections, our connections, maybe our friends. So imagine that you need a particular amount of money, maybe you need like 10 million naira to start a business, and your friends are Finifolu Flutterwave, or if I don't get the name correctly, and Dangote Song and Sheyi Tinubu. Imagine that you have those guys as your friends and you want to start, or Davido as your friend, and you want to start a business with 10 million naira. Or you have friends that barely collect 50,000 or 100,000 naira salary, and you want to start a business of 10,000 naira. I believe that it will be of 10 million naira. It will be very, very hard for you to get that money with the second group. So the first group, in fact, one of them can give you the 10 million naira. So that's what they use when they go to clubs. So it's easy for them to give you the 10 million naira. But the other party, so if I'm collecting 100,000 naira and I'm your friend, it will be very, very hard for me to let go of that money, of such huge amount of money. So now, money affects your connections, our connections, who our friends are, who our families are. So when I talk about family, I talk about biological families and I talk about adoptive families. So when there is this Yoruba saying that says that when you Okweru Nile and Jofe, that when people eat free meal, everybody claim that they are your family. So money does these things. Then another one is that our attitude and confidence towards life and people. So there are some things you will not try to attempt to do in life without money, and there are some things you will not dream of in life. And even when you are dreaming of them, you know that they are just dreams, they are just visions, not even visions now. They are visions, because you know that you do not have the money to carry out those things. Then there are some, when we're younger, there are some people that they will tell you that please don't talk to them or don't go and meet them, because and they came from a wealthy background, So it talks about our attitude and confidence towards life and people. There are some people you will not go and meet because of what is in your bank account or what you have. So no matter if you agree with me, you can agree with me or you can disagree with me. So that money really affects our confidence. So I was there and I understand what I'm saying. Another one is that money affects where we live. Money affects where we live. So if you are broke, if you are dead broke, you live in some places, most especially the people in Lagos. There is a place they call it Saleko. So and if you are getting little money, you want to go to Lekki side. But if you are a unicorn, if you have money, enough money, if you are a billionaire, so you know where you want to stay in Lagos, you want to stay in Ikoyi, just like in Ife. If you have enough money, so you are dreaming of staying at Parakin and maybe the Modomos of this world, and in Ibadan we have some places like that. In Port Harcourt we have places like that. In every place we have places where the poor stay and where the rich stay. So money affects where we live. Now our freedom, money affects our freedom. Money affects, there was this thing that someone told me and said that, there was a time that they were running to their place of work and they saw the children. Maybe I think they just said that thing, that maybe the children of the bank owners, they were playing golf on Monday morning, and some people were already rushing to go and serve their parents. So money affects the kind of money that you have, affects the kind of freedom that you have. So some people are still working till they are 60 years, 70 years, and they are just becoming millionaires at that age. So they are becoming millionaires when they are sick. Most of the money will be spent on hospital bills. But you can get it faster, just like MJ DiMarco, fast lane. There are fast lane to wealth, there are sideways, and there are slow lanes to wealth. So our freedom, money affects our freedom. Then the school our children attend. So most of us, we attended some schools anyways. So, but we know that we will not want our children to attend such schools. Who are their friends in school? When you attend a school like Anglican Secondary Commercial Grammar School that I attended, so you have friends like very, very big good names like Iku, like Eba, like Feyimushu. Those are the friends that you have. So, but if you go to maybe King's College in Lagos, so you're going to have maybe Joy, like good names, rhythmic names, not like names like Sakasaula, big names like that. Okay, so money affects every part of our lives, even the time that you pray, how you pray, what you pray, your prayer points. Money even gets to that point that it affects that. Okay, now let's quickly go. So we have to understand the idea. What we want to learn in the class is tied to the idea of inflation. And what do we mean by inflation? So inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices of goods and services rises, so causing the purchasing power of your money to fall. In simple terms, it means the price of goods and services are increasing. So there was a time that the fuel in Nigeria was sold at maybe less than 200 naira, but now there was a time we bought it around over 1,000 naira, but now I think it's less than 1,000 naira. So inflation has increased the fuel price. Inflation has increased the transportation. Inflation has increased the amount we used to buy food. So imagine that there was a time that when we were buying food, if you take 1,000 naira to eatery, you are going to eat good food, good meal. But today, if you do that, maybe you just want to drink water or you want to buy bread. That's just what you can afford with that kind of money. So that's inflation. So the price of goods and services increase while your purchasing power falls. So 1,000 naira cannot buy what it used to buy. So imagine that's the reason why the government says that they have increased the salary. But if you can check it, you are going to calculate the salary. If you calculate the salary to inflation, you are going to understand that the salary is peanut. So anybody that is collecting anything less than 200,000 naira or 250,000 naira in Nigeria presently, even at this, inflation has dropped. I think it is less than 15% now. So even with that, you can't say that 200,000 naira is a good salary or is a good monthly profit this time around in Nigeria. So, and we have to prepare. So I said something there that 1,000 naira today buys you less than 1,000 naira did a year ago. It's not just the one thing, like petrol got more expensive. It's a broad increase across most of the things you buy: food, rent, cloth, and transportation. So those things, and in Nigeria, when things go high, so it's very, very hard for it to come down. But thank God that inflation is easing on us already. So thank God for that. So now, let's quickly move forward. So what do you do with money? What do you do with money? Number one, of course, we know that we make money. We make money, so we have to understand that, and we know how to make money. You can make money through business. You can make money through salary earning. You can make money through investments. You can make money through various means. Inheritance, you can make money through that. You can make money through lottery. You can make money through gambling. So you can steal to make money. So there are different ways to make money. You can make money through miracle. So through luck. Some people believe that. So there are many ways to get money. So, but we are looking at what do we do to money when we have the money, when we don't have the money. So what do you do? So number one, some people borrow money. So I want to start with borrowing money. Borrowing money. So there are good sides. There are some beautiful sides to borrowing money. Number one, you can borrow money to increase your income. So you can borrow money to build assets, and you can borrow money when it solves emergency responsibilities. When it solves emergency responsibilities. So you can borrow money to build income. Imagine that you borrow 500,000 naira for a business that brings in 200,000 naira, maybe per annum or per month. So I think that's a good thing. So you borrow money, and at the end of the day, you get 200,000 naira profit on the 500,000 naira that you borrow. It makes sense. So now, however, there is an ugly side to it. Presently, the CBN interest rate is 25%. So that means that if you borrow 500,000 naira, so 20% of 500,000 naira is 20% is 100,000 naira. So 25% will be 125,000 naira. So imagine that you now borrow the same money, 500,000 naira, and you are paying 25% interest rate on that money, and that's 125,000 naira. And the money that the business that you got the money for, at the end of the day, you made 20% returns. You have 20% returns on that investment. So that's how much. So that means that you have lost 25,000 naira. So that means that you have lost 25,000. You have not really gained. You have lost money. So many times you have to be very, very careful about borrowing. And Nigeria has pushed us to a level, and most of us don't even borrow from CBN. We don't borrow at CBN rate. We borrow at OP rate, O cash rate, fair money rate, or what other cash do you get money from? They charge like 30%, they charge like 40%. Sometimes some even charge up to like 50%. So, and this Zip, Napo, and all those things, this apart from the fintechs, you know how much they get. And imagine that if you borrow at 25% interest, for every 100,000 naira you borrow, you may repay 125,000 naira in a year. So you have to ask yourself, is what I'm using this money for going to produce more than 25% return? So if it is not producing more than 25% return, then please don't borrow money. So please don't borrow. So but there are good sides. If you borrow, Dangote borrows or $10 borrows, those big guys. Even the federal government of Nigeria is a borrower. So we borrow money from IMF and all this things, and that's the reason why the citizens are suffering, because of some debts that we are going into. So let's go to the next one, which is saving money. So what do you do with money? You can save money. So but what do you save money for? So you can save money for emergencies. There are some things that can happen and you will need money. So are you preparing for the rainy day or the rainy days? So are you preparing for that? So then another one is you save money to prepare for investment. So you have to discipline yourself, save money so that you can invest. So whatever we are going to talk about in this class, you will need money to invest. So, and quickly, I'm not going to tell you that I have an investment, something that you have to invest on, that I'm doing. No, what we want to do is that how do you invest in equities? How do you invest in companies? How do you invest in companies, in stocks? That's what we are here to do. So, but before you can invest, you have to save so that you can have enough money to invest. Now, the next one is the ugly side of saving in Nigeria, in a country like Nigeria. So I did some statistics here, but I know that it's not possible in Nigeria. So I said that even in your bank, if you save money in the bank, you have fixed deposits. So if you have some FDs in some banks, so the FD, the highest fixed deposit in the bank, will give you 10% ROI. So they will give you 10% on your fixed deposits. That's 10%. So if you have 10% at the end of the year, and inflation is around 20%, or inflation is around 15%. So what has happened? So you have lost your purchasing power. You have lost money. You think that your money is still the same, or you think that your money has increased. What you used to buy for 200,000 naira, what you used to buy for 200,000 naira is now 250,000 naira, and you save 200,000 naira in the bank, and at the end of the day, they now give you 220,000. So you still need 30,000 naira to balance up. So that's the thing. So inflation has taken your money away, but you think that you have made more money. No, you have not made more money. So that's the error of savings. But in Nigeria, the reality in Nigeria is even the opposite, in the sense that in Nigeria you don't save money and you get your money back. No, there will be this levy, these charges, VAT, whatever, stamp duty. So they are going to deduct your money. So when you put 1,000 naira in the bank, leave it for a year. So may God help you. May you find 800 naira. Maybe 20% of your money is gone with all these SMS charges. You know what I'm talking about. So this is not America that your money will increase because you put your money in the bank. This is Nigeria that your money will decrease. But let's say that you even put it in fixed deposit. So and it gives you like 10%. So inflation is 15% currently. So and you have you get like 6, 8, 10% return on the money at the end of the year. So you have lost money. You have not really made money. And that's the reason why you have to understand the language that I'm talking about. So a lot of people say, I want to go and save money. I want to go and save money. When you are saving money, even OP, I'm sorry, I'm not discrediting any, at least OP is helping us. But all the same, you are losing money. You are losing money if you compare it to inflation. So that's the reason why I said that most of the things I'm going to talk about in this introductory class is you understanding the concept of inflation. So you are really losing money. So imagine that in 2011 you wanted to buy a land. So if you look at it today, if you buy the place where you could buy land for 100,000 or 200,000 in 2011, at this particular time, you won't find land at the rate of 1 million naira in that place again. So go and do your research and come and fact check, come and argue with me about that. So the thing is this: you have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself against inflation. So if you save money, imagine that you now put money in the bank since 2011. If you put 200,000 or 100,000 in the bank since 2011, you'd have lost your money because your money would have reduced very well. So, but imagine that you put that money in stock market in 2011, and the stock market has the Nigerian Stock Exchange has increased by over 400%. There are some stocks that have even increased, that have increased like 600, 800%. So imagine that you now put your money there. So that the stock has beaten inflation. In fact, you get more money on what you have invested in, and that's the reason why the stock market today in Nigeria, in fact this year, the stock market has raised millionaires. The stock market has raised millionaires, and that's the reason why I said that we should have, most of us, well, maybe because we are not here present, but some people that started their investment early January, some of them are already amassing like 15%, 20%, 30% of their money. So they have already beaten inflation hands down. Even if they don't want to invest again this year, they just want to take profit. Some of them have already made good amount of money, like 25%, 30%. And this is just February. This is just middle of February. So imagine that what will happen at the end of the year. So, but it's not too late anyways. So now, your money is growing in number, but it is shrinking in value if you save in a country like Nigeria. So now, what is saving? Saving, I say that you save for safety. You save for safety, but you invest for growth. You invest for growth. You save for safety, and you invest for growth. Now, quickly, let's go to the big thing here: investing money. So, investing means putting your money somewhere it can grow faster than inflation. So, of course, that's my own definition. That you put your money somewhere it can grow faster than inflation. So that means that if you put your money anywhere and it is not growing faster than inflation, if I put my money in a cooperative society is good for, if you want to collect loans, at least soft loans, that the interest will not be too much, is good. But if you want to beat inflation and you now put your money in cooperative society because of the fact that they are going to give you dividends at the end of the year, you are joking, because you have not invested, but you think you have invested. If your investment does not beat inflation, then that's not investment at all. So, and we have different options. We have the stocks, that's equity. So we have equity, that's owning part of companies. Then we have mutual funds, that's people coming together to invest, maybe in equity or in other securities, maybe federal government bonds and treasury bills or anything. So that's people coming together to invest in financial securities. So then we have treasury bills. So treasury bills is you lending out money to the central bank. So of course, you know that those ones are, when you put money there, they lend it maybe for 3 months, for 6 months, for 9 months, or for a year, and you get your money back. Then we have bonds. We have federal government bonds. We have commercial papers. Federal government bonds is you lend the federal government money, and commercial paper is that you are lending companies, you are lending big companies, you are lending them money. So that is bonds. Then we have you can invest in businesses. You can also invest in real estate. So now, what's the principle of investing? So low risk, low return. Any investment that is low in risk will give you low returns. Then, but we have high risk, high returns. So the higher the risk, the higher the returns. The lower the risk, the lower the return. That's the mathematics of that. So what's the goal? So the goal is to balance your money, and that's the reason why Solomon says, cast your bread on many waters, a little here, a little there. So balance and diversification. So put your money, put a particular amount somewhere, So for me, I say put a particular amount in cooperative in case you need loan. You want to borrow money, put a particular amount of money in cooperative to get loans. Then put a little money in savings so that you can invest later or for emergencies. Then another one, put money in investments. So that will grow your money, that will grow wealth. So then it can grow, it's a cash cow, it will grow you and you are going to make more money. So I say don't put all your money in one place. Please note that. So the question is, when should I start investing? The answer is start early. the earlier you start investing, the easier life becomes. So you can take the slow lane, you can take the side way, and you can take the fast lane. So start doing that now. Like I said the other time, that the people who started investing early this year, some people are already milking millions. Some people are already milking billions. It depends on what you have in the stock exchange. So when should you start? Start early as possible. So I'm going to end this session this way, with the story of Jacob and Esau. So we all, maybe some of us know the story of, don't let me assume, but some of us will know the story of Jacob and Esau. There was a time the father wanted to give the blessing. That's Isaac wanted to bless the one that will carry the lineage, the blessing of Abraham, the one that will carry it. So then he called the first son, Esau. He said, Esau, go and get me meat. Go and kill an animal and let me eat so that I can bless you. But Esau is a hunter, is a hustler. So this hustler wants to hustle again and get the meat so that he could give the father. As he has gone, then there was this guy at home, not a hustler, a wise guy. He makes smart money, a smart investor, not a hard worker, a diligent man. So he goes, just gets an animal, slaughters it, and takes it to the father. So the father eats. Even though the father knows that the voice is Jacob's voice, the father still blesses the man. So this is what I want you to take. Is there. Are you an Esau or are you a Jacob? So who is an Esau? An Esau is a person that makes money, but the moment he makes the money, he eats everything. You eat the fish, you eat the hook, you eat the line, you eat the sinker, and you even eat the fisherman. So that is an Esau. But there is this man that will not eat the animal, so that will not eat the bone, that will not eat the teeth, that will not eat the skin of the animal, like Esau will do. So, but this guy always brings the animal home, raises the animal, and when he wants to eat, he has multiplied the animal, he eats the children of the animals. So he eats the children of the animal. So just like in John E. Classen's book, The Richest Man in Babylon, eat your money's children. Let your money have children and grandchildren. That's when you can take it and eat it. So investors are Jacobs, while people who spend their money, the poor people, they are Esau's. So when the blessing comes, blessing always locates Jacob. So as we go further in this, in the course of this training, I want you to be determined that my money must beat inflation, and I'm ready to start investing. So thank you very much. So we are going to understand the financial market in the next training. The next teacher will teach us about the financial market. So thank you very much, and God bless you.